Hi guys, I'm going to show you a bit of an Excel document on how to do a budget, which is helpful just to sort of track where your expenses are going and what percentage you're spending on daily expenses, splurge, smile and fire extinguisher. In the book, he suggests using 60% of your income for your daily expenses, 10% on your smile account, which is your long-term wants, 10% on your splurge account, which are your short-term wants, and then 20% into your fire extinguisher account, which has a variety of uses depending where you're at financially, whether it be paying off debts, saving for a home deposit, investments, etc. So let's start with a very simple spreadsheet and just put some headings there. So we might break it down into what expenses come out of which account. So I'll put the type of account first. We'll put the source here, in other words, what income or expense source it is. And then we're going to look at a weekly budget and a monthly budget. Okay, so that's a good starting point. Now, just to make it a bit prettier, we're going to highlight those cells and wrap the text so we can see that. And then we're going to break it down into our income. Oops. And then we're going to have our daily expenses. And we're going to have we need a few of those, our splurge account, our smile account, and our fire extinguisher account. Alrighty, so what we'll do now is might just do a few, break this down into some colours actually, so it sort of highlights the difference here. So we might do our income, let's go for green, I think, for our income sources. Daily expenses we're going to do in blue. Ooh, let's go aqua blue. And splurge just makes it easier to read when it's color coded, I find. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. And fire extinguisher is going to be red. How can it be anything other than red? All right, so now we're going to just widen that column there by putting your mouse over the outline of the box until it changes into that little shape. Make it wide. Okay, so our source, I'm just going to make that a bit wider as well. Here I pay myself a wage from my business. So I'm going to put wage from Brisbane Tax Accountants. And if you do have a business, please make sure you pay yourself a wage weekly. And I know many of you will say sometimes it's not possible, but that's why you need to have a cash flow system operating in your business as well. So if you need help with that, let me know. So really important as well that your personal accounts are separate from your business. I changed all my personal accounts to ING. So I have my four accounts with ING and left my business one with CBA. So it just makes it a little bit easier to manage that way. All right, so daily expenses, let's put in rent or mortgage, groceries, and then our utilities, we can do gas, electricity, water, and then we'll do our telecommunications, internet. Then we can do, you might have childcare, you may have school fees, then you might have, we'll put transport in, so we'll do fuel, rego, insurance, repairs, and then we'll do all car repayments. And then we can do transport, so public transport and tolls there. And then we can look at insurance, so you might have sort of insurance for now, but you may have home and contents, We may have private insurance, etc. And then we can look at pets, put pets in there. And I'm sure there's plenty of others that I'm not thinking of right now. And then we want to look at splurge. So we've got takeaway, all the fun stuff, alcohol. I don't drink, so I'm not putting in mine, but put alcohol there. Coffees, entertainment, health and beauty. Actually, I'll put health up here for if you need prescriptions or chiro, etc. And then we'll put beauty down here, so for hair and beauty maybe. And beauty, and what else can we put there? Gifts. Beautiful. Now, smile is for more long-term goals. So I put, I do save up for Christmas. So Christmas, and I'm looking at a new car, and you might put things like holiday, wedding if you're lucky enough to be on that journey, and then fire extinguisher. The first step is obviously debts. Someone might put debt 1, debt 2, depending what you've got there, or you may be on extra payments for your mortgage or house savings, etc. All right, so that's pretty simplistic there. Now I'm just going to again so what we're going to do is, see down the bottom here you've got sheet 1. What we're going to do is rename that January, so that this we can have, and then we'll add another sheet, and then we can have one of these sheets per month. Okay, so we want to work out our weekly budget, and then we want to actually work out what we spend on each week. So let's put in from the 1st of the month, 8th of the month, 15th, and 22nd. All right. Now what we're going to do is, I just want to make that look a bit better. So I'm going to go back to my colours, make that a light green, make that light blue, light blue, light blue, and just so it's a bit nicer. Oh, storm in the background. Okay. Oops, and see how I missed one there? I missed one line, so what I'm going to do is click undo, and I'm going to then highlight the cells properly. If you're not familiar with Excel, please have a look at the Excel basics video that I put in the link for as well, just so that you get a handle on Excel, because it really is a phenomenal program. I don't know what I would do without it. I want pink, and there's no pink, so I'm going to click more colours, and I'm going to go up to. Okay. All right, so it's going to be okay. Now what I want to do is I want to bold the title, so highlight everything you want bold, and I want to bold these words, and then I want to put a grid around it. So highlight the whole section, go up to your little grid, and I'll put all borders in. All right, so let's just put some rough figures in here. Here comes the rain. Okay, now let's just do some stuff. I'm not telling you all my financial secrets, I'm just putting in some random figures here. So gas will be about that. Phone will be about 40. Oh, fuse instead of fuel. Fuel there. $10. I don't drive far. $10, $20, and $30. I don't have car payments. I don't catch public transport, tolls, pet insurance. So I'll put that in pets actually. and say $10 held, and 50, 20, 30, $10 a week. It's probably not, I know what your hair costs, but mine's not $10 a week. Let's put 40 there, 20 there. Christmas I'm put $20 a week, so if you look at, that's $800 by the end of the year, it's not too shabby. Car I might put 30 towards, and holiday 50, and then bets. And obviously once we work out our percentages, these figures will change. So with our percentages, we want our daily expenses to be 60%, splurge 10%, smile 10%, and fire extinguisher 20%. All right, so now let's look at our totals. So what we're going to do is we're going to highlight the area we want to total, click on auto sum, and then we want to do it the same for all the columns. So I'm going to drag that formula across, and then the next slot we're going to put in here, auto sum. Oops, I did it not far enough, so undo that and re-highlight down to the bottom, auto sum, drag it across, and down here, auto sum, drag it across, auto sum, drag it across. Okay, now if you, like as time goes on, you realise you forgot some particular expenses and you want to put something, an extra column in, what you can do is highlight the column, right click, insert a column there if you want to keep it in a particular order. Or for example, down here I've probably got too many, so I can also delete columns as well. So it's starting to look a bit better. We'll just, on the totals, we'll just bold and underline them. We'll do that. Bold and underline. Don't know who was in Brisbane today. It was 38 degrees. So I'm not surprised. The storm is here. All right. Bold and underline. Beautiful. All right. So that's starting to look a bit better. So what we'll now do is we'll look at our monthly budget. So we want to work out, if that's weekly and that's monthly, we want to times that by 4. If you want to be really technical, you can times it by 28. If you want to do it every 28 days, whatever you want. I'm going to do equals. So how you do a formula, you put your mouse in the cursor, you do equals that cell. So you click in the cell, do the times 4, and it will calculate that for you. So now what I want to do is I want that same formula to carry all the way through. So I'm going to drag that down to the end, and that's going to calculate the monthly amount for me as well, which is pretty cool. So now what I want to do is have a think about, actually see what happened there? It dragged the colour, which I didn't want to happen, so I want to undo that. And instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it after that auto sum. I'm going to do equals that times that, and drag that down, and equals that times that, and drag it down. Because I put the formula in for the total before I did this, which is not the ideal order, but we'll go with that for now. Oops. And drag that down, and equals that times 4, and drag that. Okay, so I want to see if my percentages are on track. So let's say my weekly wage is $2,000 and my budget for the weekly daily expenses is 1,366. So I want to work out what percentage is that of my wage. So I'm just going to put my cursor in a little box over here, and I'm going to do equals that column, and then the divide symbol divided by that column equals 0.68. So I'm at 68%. So obviously I want to try and work out where I can get that down further to 60%. And they're guidelines only, but a really good way to work it out. So I might say, right, that means that groceries I'm going to have to bring down to 200, and you'll see there that that formula now changed to 65%. So how about repairs I'm going to use out of my fire extinguisher in case something comes up. I change that to zero, and I'm going to get a better internet deal and only pay $80 a month. And same with my phone. And I'm going to turn off the aircon. So, you can play around with this so this ideally gets to 60%. So I'm pretty close. Now let's have a look at what percentage my splurge is of my total income. So I'll put my mouse in another box over here to equals that divided by that, and I'm at 0.08%. So I'm under in my splurge, so I'm happy with that. I've got $160 a week to play with, but you can see here that's a little bit over, so I'm pretty much on track at the moment. Now we'll look at my Smile account equals that divided by my income. It's at 5%. So I can afford to put more into my Smile account towards these future goals, but at the moment my priority might be paying off higher debt. So you can change it if you want, but or put more towards it, but I'm going to use my leftovers towards fire extinguisher. So, but if I look at these debts I want to pay off, which is equals that divided by my income, 35%. So I don't have enough money to pay that much debt. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to calculate my total expenses. So my total expenses, I'm going to put a new column down here called total expenses. And I'm going to total up the 4 bank accounts. So equals this amount, and then you do your plus on your keyboard, plus this amount, plus this amount, plus this amount equals 2186. So you can see there that I am over budget by $186. So obviously I need to do some serious thinking about where I need to drill down and change some things. All right, so let's just fix that. I'm going to do border and bold. All right. So, okay, let's say, for example, you'll watch this 2186 down the bottom. If I change that to be 400 and this debt to be that, and then I'm just going to have to say cut out a couple of coffees and put $40 towards my holiday. You can start seeing, how you can sort of manage this. So, now I'm under budget. Woo! All right, so that's a really good template, I think. So now what you need to do is when the actual event happens, so week 1 has happened, you get your bank statement and you go through, and every item on your bank statement, say for example, you've got a Woolies entry, you'll put in whatever, $55, and the next one might be paying off your phone bill. And so what happens is you put in the expenses. Now what happens if you've got another couple of Woolies that are coming out? So what you do there, you want to add it to this 55. So you put your cursor in there and you come up to the formula bar up the top here, and instead you put an equals, and then 55 plus next time you spent 89 equals. So, you can just add them on until you've gone through the whole bank statement for the week to see what your actuals were. So, yeah, really good. What I do once I'm to the end of my month, I then create a month total. So this means the actuals, the total of the actuals for the month come in here. No, that didn't work. Go away. All right, so I didn't do that properly. I did this one. Okay, so that's auto sum there. So this month, for example, this week, 200, 500, 500. So what will happen is the month total will come down here. And then I'm going to get a running total of my whole month that's going to be in this total box. So I'm going to see, let's just put in, for example, I don't know, 6800 is what I spent for the month. What is the difference between what I spent and my budget? So this new column here, I'm going to call difference, and it's going to be equal to my what I spent minus my budget, and I'm 1896 over budget. So that's a really good way to bring it forward and go through and go, right, what is the difference between what I actually spent and what I budgeted for? And you'll soon see where your money's going. Scary stuff. All right, so now I just want to make this a bit prettier, but I don't really want to move my formula, so I'm going to cut that and move it out of the way, and cut that and put it over here. So otherwise, if I delete them, all the formulas that I've done will disappear. All right, so let's go here and make that, I don't know, light grey. And oops, I did the whole thing light grey. I'll grid it, and that will be ready to go. What I see here, I've got the total. So if I want to see, what have I done formula-wise, I can put my mouse there, and I can look up here. It says equals I27 minus D27. So what that means is column I, row 27. So I27, which is that cell, minus D27. So D27 is this one, which means it's that cell minus that cell. So I can check my formulas. And then I can do the same for the splurge, auto sum the totals. And then I'm going to go equals this amount minus the budgeted amount. And same again here. I'm going to total up, auto sum that. And then equals this amount minus this amount, sorry, equals, oops, auto sum those, auto sum that, equals that minus that. All right, so you can see as I fill data in, I'm going to make it a lot prettier. I'm just going to, sorry to be a pain. Actually, I don't need them. They didn't do anything. All right, so I'm going to get rid of that because I was only working out my percentages, and I can do that once my data's fresh. Okay. Get rid of, put no border. Oops, no border. There we go. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. So now what I want to do is I want to replicate this next month. So I'm going to go over the whole lot like that. I'm going to right click and I'm going to copy, and I'm going to go to February, and I'm going to paste special. Paste. All right, so you can see here now it's kept my formulas, which is pretty cool. So I don't have to redo that again each month. And then let's say, for example, we've done January. Now February's holding all of January's data, which we don't want. So we can keep our budget, but then we're just going to delete out information we put in for the actual. Pretty cool. So I hope you like that. I might even save this and put the template for you as well. So then if you don't want to do it yourself, you can, hang on, I can't do two things at once. Excel template, and you can just use mine. Or you can get excited like I do about Excel, or probably not, and do your own. All right, guys, well, that's that. Have a lovely day. and keep chasing joy, I guess. See ya.